Καλησπέρα. Καλώς ήρθατε. Ελπίζω να μας ακούτε όλοι. Βλέπω ότι σιγά σιγά μπαίνει ο κόσμος. Οπότε ξεκινάμε σιγά σιγά. Καλησπέρα και πάλι. Καλώς ήρθατε σε όλους όσους μπαίνουν τώρα. Είμαι η Μαρία Λαϊνά. Είμαι Διευθύντρια Ανάπτυξης και Αποφύτων στο Αμερικανικό Κολέγιο Ελλάδος. Και σήμερα, και μάλλον βλέπετε, γιατί εγώ για κάποιο λόγο δεν βλέπω κάτι στην οθόνη μου, δίπλα μου πρέπει να βλέπετε και τη συνεργάτηδά μου, τη Χριστίνα Χάντζου.
Πέρα.
Λοιπόν, για όσους μας έχουν παρακολουθήσει όλο αυτό το διάστημα, από τον Απρίλιο που ξεκινήσαμε αυτή την πρωτοβουλία, έχουν ξανακούσει αυτά που θα πω. Επειδή όμως μαζί μας σήμερα είναι και αρκετοί απόφοιτοι και γονείς μαθητών και φοιτητές του Ντυρί που μας παρακολουθούν για πρώτη φορά, θα ήθελα να πω ότι η πρωτοβουλία αυτή, τα ACG Alumni Webinars, ξεκίνησαν τον Απρίλιο του 2020, στην αρχή της πανδημίας, σε μια προσπάθεια και να συνεχίσουμε, αλλά και να ενισχύσουμε την επικοινωνία με τους απόφοιτους, με τους γονείς μαθητών, με τους φοιτητές μας, μέσα από κάποιες δραστηριότητες οι οποίες προσφέρουν προστιθέμενη αξία, ευκαιρίες δικτύωσης και γνώσης. Τα webinars αυτά πραγματοποιούνται από τότε σε μηνιαία βάση και πραγματεύονται μία πολύ ευρεία γκάμα θεμάτων, τα οποία έχουν να κάνουν με την προσωπική ανάπτυξη, με την επαγγελματική ανάπτυξη, με την κοινωνία, την επικοινωνία, γιατί αυτό είναι και το τεράστιο εύρος στο οποίο δραστηριοποιούνται οι απόφοιτοι μας και του Peers και του Ντυρί. Η σημερινή μας ομιλήτρια είναι η Μαρία Tsaroucha, ηθοποιός, σκηνοθέτης, συγγραφέας, απόφοιτη του Peers και του Ντυρί, διπλή απόφοιτη, και δημιουργός της θεωρίας και μεθόδου Perceptual Acting and Directing, PAD, με λίγα λόγια, ένα σύστημα θεωρίας πράξης με ασκησιολόγιο. Η Μαρία έχει σπουδάσει κοινωνιολογία στον Ντυρί και υποκριτική τέχνη στην Αμερικανική Ακαδημία Δραματικής Τέχνης στη Νέα Υόρκη. Τα τελευταία 15 χρόνια ασχολείται με τη μελέτη της υποκριτικής τέχνης σε σχέση με τις νευροεπιστήμες, τη φιλοσοφία και την κβαντική φυσική. Έχει γράψει 3 βιβλία, το «Διαυγές κενό κεφάλι», τα «Πρώτα βήματα, πρώτες σκέψεις» και το «Υπερσυνείδητος η ευφυΐα μέσα σου», πάνω στο οποίο βασίζεται και το σημερινό webinar που θα μας παρουσιάσει. Σήμερα, λοιπόν, θα μας μιλήσει μέσα από τη δική της σκοπιά για τις απεριόριστες δυνατότητες της ανθρώπινης φύσης και τη θεωρία της σχετικά με τους τρόπους με τους οποίους μπορούμε να καλλιεργήσουμε τη συνειδητότητα και την αυτοπραγμάτωση μέσα από την υποκριτική τέχνη. Μαρία, καλώς ήρθες και πάλι. Είσαι και στην Αμερική, έτσι, δεν είσαι εδώ?
Καλώς σας βρήκα. Ναι, είμαι στην Αμερική. Να ρωτήσουμε αν όλοι καταλαβαίνουν ελληνικά.
Βεβαίως, βεβαίως. Έχουμε μήπως κάποιους ανάμεσά μας, or do we have somebody who doesn't speak Greek so that we can switch to English? You can write it in the chat.
I don't speak very well. If it's okay to switch to English, please.
Yeah, I would love. Well, I would love to switch in English.
Thank you.
Κάποιος που δεν καταλαβαίνει πολύ καλά τα ελληνικά.
Okay, so let me say a few words about the housekeeping rules, because usually we have a Q&A at the end of the webinar. This time, we are not going to have a Q&A. You are very welcome to ask questions during the presentation by raising your hand, or you can write the questions in the chat and Maria will address them. So we will change a little bit the format. So Maria, over to you.
Questions or any kind of thoughts you're having,
Yes.
You want to share with me, I'm more than welcome. Because here I come as a student and as a human being who wants to share the knowledge that I've acquired up to today with you. So any thoughts you're having are extremely important for me. Thank you. Blessings for being here today. I know that we come from, Katarina or anybody else, in my language, my primary language is not English. I may make some mistakes, right? So you excuse me for that, but I'll try my best. we are here, we come from different fields, right? And what I'm asking you is to take off your shoes and take away your ID and just come here plain human beings, you know, just very simple. Also, be extremely aware of the thoughts you're gonna having throughout this conversation we're gonna have. I would suggest that you use the right hemisphere of the brain, which is logic, numbers, criticism, understand everything that we do, and we need to communicate through language, right? We usually do it from the left part of the left hemisphere of the brain, and try to just free yourself. Let's become friends for 1 hour and share these moments together, okay? Try to connect with the other part of the brain, which is the right hemisphere. I just wanna ask you something. Anastasia, καταλαβαίνεις τα αγγλικά? Okay. Try to use the other part of the other hemisphere of the brain, which is the subconscious, and actually is the one who gives the answers to all the questions we have. The more we're connected with the subconscious, which is almost 80 to 90% of who we are, the more connected we are with the truth of our existence. So what is the truth and what is reality? What's the difference between these two things, between these two words? I would ask you to close your eyes for a second. Just close your eyes. Breathe deeply from your nose. As you breathe, try to breathe light from a very, very big ball of light in front of you. Try to breathe light and exhale light. And as you're breathing, you're enlightened from the top of your head to the toe, to your toes in your feet. And now just imagine, visualize that you are on a wonderful seashore in the beach, sitting. The sand is warm, white and warm. You smell the sea. The sea's quiet. You're just seeing the sun, the sunset in front of you, all the colors. And you feel the air, the breeze of the sea on your skin. It's a little bit chilly, chill. Just stare at the sunset. And next to you, your bed is sitting your best friend. So you just turn and look at him or her in the eyes. He looks at you, back at you. You're smiling at each other. And then you turn your head in front again and you just stare at the sunset. And just open your eyes. So my question is, and I want an answer from you, where were you? Were you there in the sea watching the sunset, or you were in your room? Where were you? Can somebody just give me an answer to help me go ahead? Okay, the answer may be that I am in both places, or the answer may be I am in my room listening to you, or the answer may be I was there in the seashore, right, in having this experience. So what's happening is that in reality, you're sitting in your room and we're just having this webinar, but in actuality, but truthfully, with all your senses, with all your mind, you were moved to this place there. So actually what you were experiencing was the sunset and your friend looking at your eyes, and you were sharing this experience with him. So there's the difference between reality and actuality. Most of us during our whole day, we are very focused on our actual actions, on what we're doing, and we're getting very stressed, and we forget everything about who we truly are. This amazing connection we can acquire and expanding of our awareness when we're connected with the subconscious, and how helpful this would be when we just breathe, and within this moment we just take out the stress and just go with it, even in the most difficult times, right? I want to tell you some things about me. Or maybe Christina, do you want to give us the first poll, please?
Okay, can you specify which one? The one.
The one with the actor.
Excuse me, what?
With the actor.
Okay.
While you're having the poll, I just want to tell you something about my story.
Maria, I will translate in English as well.
Okay.
So what do you believe an actor does? It's a multiple choice question. So he plays or she plays a role, understands or senses another human being, and puts himself or herself in his or her place, acts, plays, all of the above or none of the above. And you can reply.
So I'm going to share with you some part of my personal story, and why I'm here now talking to you about all these things. I was trained as a method actor here in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York. The method actor is a method actor has the best tools an artist, an actor can have in order to be truthful in the moment on stage and share this experience with the audience. So when I came back to Greece from my studies here in the United States, I started working as an actor. Back then I was 30 years old. And I started being very, having all this, being on stage, having all these performances. But while I was acting as a method actor on stage on very, very difficult parts, there was this question that while I was a perfect puppet on stage, perfectly doing what I was crying and doing all the things I was supposed to do, there was this tiny question that just in my mind like this, crossed my mind like this, and the question was, who am I? Who are you kidding now? Are you Maria or are you Agnes, the character? And it just pissed me off. I was like, oh my God, I have the best tools. Why does this question keep coming back to me? And I was very upset. And I started realizing that if I don't answer to this vivid question, who am I? Then I couldn't go on. and I love my work. So I wanted to be an actor. So how can I just have this question while I was acting? And just, was I kidding myself? What was I doing? And then I thought that if I'm not gonna answer to this question, I'm gonna get crazy, right? I cannot be all these other characters, portraying all these other characters, and just make jokes with myself, or just fooling out the audience by being a perfectly, uh, you know, a puppet on stage. But then, where was the truth that I was sharing with them?
Maria, sorry to interrupt you, because we see the results of the poll as well. I don't know if you see them, and I don't know if everybody sees them. Actually, what they reply is what you are saying, what you just said.
That that's what I'm seeing the polls, and I'm gonna
okay.
I'm answering to the question. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So in order for you to know, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just that some new knowledge that you will acquire the way I did years back. You see, I was thinking, if we see a schizophrenic human being in the edge of the street, and he thinks he's Napoleon, so he has this role, this identity of being Napoleon, and he says he's very well communicating his world, his Napoleon world. We take this human being and we place this human being in a hospital, right? And then people come to see me try to do the best I can what he already has acquired. Now, this is a tricky situation here, because there comes neuroscience and what we do and how we study the brain of an actor, of a method actor, what's the transition we make from who we are as identities, right? I'm Maria Tsaroucha, am I? We're gonna answer to that. Then to being whatever I am. Like now, for example, I am somebody talking to you and sharing with you my knowledge. I'm an actor for you. I don't know what I am for you, but I know that now I perceive myself just as a human being who wants to communicate the knowledge that I've acquired. So at this moment, for me, I'm nothing and everything, right? I'm not a role, but in our embryonic state of understanding who we are through our three-dimensional understanding, which is and communicative, our communicative way, which is language and senses, and unfortunately through the internet, we only have two senses. And actually, with most of you right now, I have one sense, because I can't see the most of you, right? So you're listening to me, but I can't see you. So I'm completely disconnected from who you are. So the only thing that I have is visualize your energy by being here, listening to me. And that's a gift. And thank you. People are coming to the theater to see me trying to do what he already does. And we consider this human being crazy, and I am this perfect actor doing this thing. And then I started, and other things were happening when I was performing this very difficult part, which is Bud, and I performed it for 216 performances, and I was supposed to suicide myself in the end of the play. I was missing my son. It was a very difficult situation that I went through every day. And then I said, okay, I need to study. I need to know what's happening. And I got involved with many, many different fields and sciences like neuroscience, neuroplasticity. And I just want to say, I study. I'm not a scientist. I'm someone who is eager for knowledge, right? And neuroscience, the philosophy of quantum physics, and self-awareness meditation, all the ideas and the philosophy of the Western and the Eastern world, which actually were some of the same things, but the Easterns are just talking, it's the philosophy, and Westerns, it's just science, right? It's just the same thing. And then I came up after 15 years, after almost 8 years, with this theory of who we are. You see, let's say that we've been born here. This is the moment of our birth. And this is the moment of our death. And this is a dot. If we have a white paper, let's place a dot in this moment of our birth. And let's place a dot in the moment of our death. And let's place a dot in the now. And now. And every moment, every single moment, from our birth to our death, our first cry, our first smile, our first fight, we are 10 years old, 20 years old, etc. And then we are now here. After we close up our, we go from this meeting, we're gonna be with our fellow friends doing something, etc., and we die, okay? So if we connect these dots, we have, this is linear, we have a line, but this is who we are. Our death, our birth and our death. In the white paper, this doesn't start here and doesn't end here. If you put the dots before our birth, and if you put dots after our death, and then if you put the dots in the paper also vertical, right? And you connect all these dots that you're placing in the paper, and if you visualize and you think that the paper is not a paper, but it goes beyond the ages of the paper, then you have an absolute connected field, which is made by dots, correct? In this reality that we're understanding through our three-dimensional, as I said before, understanding, we take roles. We consider ourselves to be famous, sad, fat, mother, rich, clever, everything that you can imagine, anything that you can imagine, right? But is this who we are truly? In this, if this is a line in this infinity, then this and what we perceive as our reality of who we are is just frames of our potential, of ourself, the way we understand ourselves through our belief system and our value system. This infinity gives us the gift of and the knowledge of realizing that in an infinite infinity of possibilities, we are actually anyone, anything, even the leaves of a tree that we can visualize we are. And truthfully, we are. We cannot prove that because we are human beings and we communicate, as I say, through our senses. And then we have this logic here that now says, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not the leaves of the tree, right? How can I be the leaves of the tree? But then again, you see, with all the knowledge that comes from the philosophy of the quantum physics, in the simplest way that all human beings can understand it, they say we are whatever we imagine we are. Me as an actor, I'm asked to perform the leaves of a tree, right? In Shakespearean plays, let's say, and I do it. If I'm not vibrating in the synchronized with the vibration of my potential, of my potentiality of being the leaves of a tree, then I will never be able to do it. And then I'm going to myself. Coming back, if you have any questions, just ask me, because I know that I gave to you very knowledge in a very, very few words. I try to explain to you something that is just books of knowledge and of science and of philosophy, actually. And I also want to say something to you. We can consider this meeting as a sharing of philosophical concepts, because before everything, the ideas, there are the ideas. If we don't have an idea, we will never be able to do something. We're plain, we're zero without the ideas. This is the way we are human beings. So we have to come back to the basics in order to survive and live a very grateful life in a new era that's coming. And the new era acquires all fields of knowledge to come together. I want to make clear to you that when I just, for people here, and that I've seen there are people from sciences here, and I want to make it clear that when I spoke about my theory, which I'm just giving you some outlines, basic outlines of it today, to the vice president of the Hellenic Physics Association, and also here in the United States to people, to very prestigious people and people who are in the sciences for years now. They are very interested on how this theory, how you study the transition of in the mind of an actor to being who he is, to the character, and how this will help scientists to go further with studying what experience is all about. They are very open to that, and they've accepted this theory, and that gives me hope to go on with that. I just want to make clear for our audience. In order to do that, all the things that I'm just talking to you about, there's one basic rule that I figure out we need to base to make our foundation. And that basic rule is the fact that there isn't a higher vibration in the world than the energy of love. Can we have the next poll? Actually, I said love, and I just remember the poll. So coming back to the actor here, until you're going to see the next poll, actually, the actor is not doing anything of all. Yeah, we can say up to today we're saying that he was doing all this stuff that you just answered, but actually the actor, what he does is he vibrates, he synchronizes with the vibration of the frame of his soul, the possible frame of his soul, in an infinite possibilities of who he could be. And then comes the word acting. Here in English we say I'm acting, and acting is a verb, and acting is an energetic verb, not a passive verb. Acting is what we're doing right now. I'm here with you, talking to you. I want something from you. You want something from me. That's why you're here. So this is action and reaction. So throughout our day, we are acting and reacting, even in our sleep, in a way. Anything we do, even when we're going to have our coffee, we want a coffee. So we're doing an action. That's what an actor does in the theater. He's not feeling, he's not thinking. He's in an action. You're in an action in every moment in your life, in anything that you do, even now. Now you listen. In order to when we are acting, the best way to release ourselves from our belief system that I believe most of you, I don't want to talk now about the belief system and the value system, but I believe most of you may be aware of how our belief systems are structured by our younger years when we are children, and how actually we are, our belief system, actually our ego. Thank you, Maria. Our ego is based on our belief system, and I'm going to talk about the ego and the subconscious and the higher self. So we shouldn't be our belief system. I'm just saying that now because if we're in an action and we carry on our belief system, believe me, the only thing that we're going to do, our first reaction is criticism. We're criticizing. Oh, what is she saying? How is she saying? What does she mean? Wow, do I like her? Don't I like her? Is she pretty? Is she clever? I don't know. You know, all this what's the word? Thoribos. All this
noise.
Oh, thank you. All this noise in our head, which we don't need, and actually it's not helpful at all. And it just keeps us in our space, and we're not connected to that. So it's criticism, and then it's comment. We're commanding. Comment. We're doing comments. Oh, look how she looks. Oh, wow, he has a very and this becomes huge, and we have all this noise in our head. And the basic way of communication should be openness, and you will have to be focused on the other person's, something that we do in theater. This is this great Meissner's exercise, which is called moment to moment. So in moment to moment, we have first the observer. I'm observing you without criticism, without any kind of comments. If we had the pleasure and the time to do this exercise, you would be shocked by how much we criticize and we comment other people. You would be shocked. And then you would realize things for yourself that you've never even thought about by a single, simplest exercise that, believe me, probably would be the most difficult exercise you will ever do. Why? Because we live like that. We are, this exercise actually is what you do every single moment in your life. And then I'll take you out of this comfort, and I'll give you a coaching on how you're doing it while you're doing it. And you're gonna say, oh my God, am I doing this thing? Oh my God, do I react like that? So coming back, Tini Agapi, do you want to say that in English, Maria, please? You are...
Yes, I was muted. This is one of the most common words we have been using during the pandemic. So the poll was about, the first answer was about energy. So the answer was that love is energy, 67%. Then plirotita. So maybe this is that you feel, full or a whole, 50%. And then evidence with action, 22%.
So we would say absolutely that love is the highest energy that there exists in the universe. And then love is the only way that we can feel fulfilled to our expanded awareness. And yes, of course, good acts are the way to express our love. But then again, what is love? I told you before about this exercise: no criticism, no comment. I want you to consider throughout the day how much you're doing it, how much you comment and you criticize whatever you listen. Even though we think we're not, we do it. In our relationship with our children, with our, of course, with the people that we work with, mostly with ourselves, I would say, you know. And then I will ask you, we gave these answers. So where do you find love? Where is love in all this, in our everyday? If we criticize and we command everything, every single moment and every action and every thought and every feeling that we have, I said before that we are entering the era of a need for humans to connect, get answers from the fields connected: science, arts, philosophy, everything. Why is that? Because they can't be isolated. You get a question from science and then it maybe cannot get the answer, but then comes an artist or a philosopher and in this huge potential of thought, creative thought, he gives hints to a scientist to think something that he may never considered before, right? In order to do that, I said there is one primary foundation that we have to step on, and that's the energy of love. So how do you do that? How can you love yourself? How can you just communicate with other human beings through this basic foundation, which is love? Can we put the poll for synesthesia, for empathy, please?
Shall we also translate this one?
Yes. The only thing is that I don't see the poll anymore. The question was, how do you understand empathy? And then the options.
Understanding.
Pull out the poll again.
Understanding the problem of a human being, helping a human being to solve the problem, συμπαράσταση και στήριξη, being
supportive of the other human being. So these are the options.
So if somebody, if there is a human being, if there is, let's consider the closest, the closest friend you have, or your child or whatever, and they have a problem. Let's say they become angry, right? And you really hate the fact that they became angry. So how would you just be helpful and go back to saying that, not criticize them and not command that, oh my God, you're angry, or what would you do? What's the healthiest way in order to communicate with them, and not for you to absorb their energy? That's empathy. But what is empathy? How can I act a mother, Medea, let's say? How can I sense a mother that's killing their child, a mother, or let's not say a mother, a murderer, right? And I have to be a murderer, and I'm killing all these people, and I have to be the actor who's going to be performing that perfectly, so people will understand what's going on and will empathize with me, or will not empathize with me, actually. In order to do that, I have, if I'm gonna criticize the action of the murderer that I'm going to be, I will never be able to act the part. Now you're going to say, this is what actors do. Yeah, but what's a process of doing that? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And that's how this involves everybody, because we're not murderers. At least we haven't done a murder yet. We may never will, but there is a possibility that we may do a murder, right? We flip out and we just do it. So an actor who is portraying to be a murderer, if he criticizes the murderer, if he criticizes the murderer and he doesn't feel empathy for that soul that is so let's say, no, I would say it in my terms, in that soul that is in a very low, in the lowest state of consciousness, because there are state of consciousness for 0 to 1000. From 400 and above, it's Christ, it's Buddha. For 300 to 400, it's Einstein. So these amazing people have the ideas, and then they create these amazing things. Michelangelo, all these people. And I don't want to talk about it right now too much, but the lowest state of consciousness is from 0 to 70. So a murderer is from 0 to 70. You see, it's very, very easy to criticize and to say, oh, he's a murderer, and it's so helpful if we have the knowledge of what is consciousness, and what it means to be in a low state of consciousness. People who die for their country, who go to the army, and they have the belief of dying for my country highest than the belief of the gift of life, that life is more valuable than dying for my country. These people are the next level of the murder, which is from 75, from 0 to 140. You see, it's dying for my country. It's based on a belief system that it's not even ours. It comes from family, blah, 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 right? What is our belief system? If I'm loving myself, I wouldn't die. And I know that it will sound a little bit weird, but I wouldn't die even if I love myself, not egoistically, not acting with ego. I wouldn't die for no one. I wouldn't kill myself for no one. This is love of my being, of my progressive γνώθησε αυτό throughout my life. Πώς κατανοείς την συνέση, κατανοείς πολύ με το συμβατό. So, coming back to what is empathy. Empathy is empathy is when you have the problem and I'm there next to you, even if I do not understand your problem, even if I can't help you with your anger, even if I can't do nothing for you, there is one basic thing that I can do. I can sit next to you, open my arms, and sense your anger, feel that, and just quietly help you take that away. Because, there is the thoughts, the actions, and the feelings. And then it's the same circle. A thought is creating an action is creating a feeling. So if I'm there next to you, just by my presence, open in a high vibrational and energy with love, in love, then these will come out of me and will help you. And then you're going to figure out the problem yourself. I will never be able to help you with your problem. The only thing that I can is to be there for you as if I am you, but I'm just giving you, I'm just communicating to you peace and love. Coming to the part of the actors, it's a different way we deal with empathy, but without empathy, you can't be a good actor. Without empathy, you can't be a good CEO. Without empathy, you can't be a good mother. Without empathy, you can't be a nice human being. Why? Empathy, love, empathy, kindness. The way we express, the way we communicate, let me find the right words, because for me, speaking in English, it's a little bit different. My presentation becomes a little bit different than if I'm doing it in Greek, but that's great. Wow. That's a challenge. There is love and then the empathy, and the only way we can communicate our love to people is kindness. So gratitude is and kindness. Sorry guys, I don't know what the people who think mostly to the left with the left hemisphere think, but there isn't any other way. There are ways and ways to, I'm going to give you an example, because my daughter is listening. She's going at DRE and she's listening in the next room. So yesterday, we were very frustrated, both of us, and we had a kind of a fight. So she's younger, I'm older, and I'm supposed to have more experience. So I'm supposed to have a little bit more knowledge. But what I can do, and it's what I did, is I just took moments of breathing and meditating and trying to connect my balance to my body, mind, soul. I try to become the observer that I know I am, that I'm not, the mother, Maria. This is not who I'm truly. This is my identity through my daughter. I'm her mother. But as I was explaining to you in the beginning of our webinar, in this infinity of possibilities, which is my soul, let's say, I could be everything. So I became the observer of who I am towards my daughter, observing myself without ego, without criticism, without commenting. And I just said, Maria, the observer told me, well, actually, the observer doesn't tell me anything. The observer is there for me, just, giving me good vibes and make me feel good. Who is the observer, in a way? It's something that I really want to talk to you. It's these three. Finally, with our argument we had, it's been released we didn't have to say anything. It's just me just being in a much better mood and relaxed mood and peacefully. We just solved it. It just got solved by its own. Okay. Coming to the observer, I want to talk to you a little bit about the three triangles, golden triangles, because I know we don't have a lot of time. So I want to talk to you about two things. Please, Maria, remind me, because I don't want to leave people without saying these two main things. The one is the three golden triangles, and the other is the transactional theory by Eric Berne, which is two main. A transactional theory, actually, I borrow it. It's not my theory, but I consider it extremely important for everybody to know. And you can search about it on the internet. Transactional theory by Eric Berne. I'm going to the three golden triangles first. Okay, there is this triangle that it's ego, my ego, subconscious, and higher self. There is the other triangle that it's me, you, and everybody. And then there's this other triangle, which is body, soul, mind. Am I missing something here? Well, anyway, so I'm going to the second triangle. The second triangle, it's me, you, all of us. I'm just going to say it very plain and very quick, because these are all very big theories that you can, and it's also in my theory, it's also everything, it's in the book, but I can go on telling you everything from the book, because I just chose some things to just give you some outlines. So in this, if I'm good, I'm feeling good, and my friend Katarina is feeling good too, but society, it's a mess, everybody, as it is today, then nothing works for me and you and Katarina. If society is perfect and Katarina is doing well, but I'm not okay, then in my world, nothing is perfect, and I'm not valuable for society. So society has a problem. If I am fine and society is fine, but Katarina has a problem, it's the same thing. So we are interconnected. What does that mean? It can be in this society, the good for one. The good for one is the good for all, and the good for all has to be the good for one. And I do believe that we're ending an era which is society is extremely frustrated, and they're trying to isolate people. They're trying with not to touch, to smell, to share the energy, to feel, to be truthful, to be simple, to just say the things the way we know. That's what I know, right? I'm not perfect. This is who I am, and I'm blessed, and I feel gratitude, and I want to know who you are, and give me that, and let's go together the path in this life. If this, it's not a common goal for everybody, that acquires kindness, empathy, no criticism, no commenting, distinguishes the facts, the truth, as I said, actuality. I'm fighting now with you, right? And the truth, okay, I'm fighting with you, but I don't hate you. Truthfully, you're not my enemy. Because if you are my enemy, I am my enemy too. Because I can't sleep well at night. I can feel really well if at night I feel, oh my God, this person, oh my God, at work, my coworker, he did this, he did that. There is a lot of toxicity in our days in society. So if it doesn't start from us, where will it start from? I mean, at least this is the least we can do. We don't need to be more clever. We need to be more open, empathetic, and truthful. So this triangle, right? So this triangle, I talked to you about the first triangle, which is ego, subconscious, higher self. The ego is the ego. There's two egos within us. The one is the egopathetic ego, the one that, what I'm telling you, you know, with a belief system which is frightened, scared that this will happen to him, the other will happen to him. So it puts all the walls, and then very absurd ways of communication, a lot of toxicity. You don't understand what the other person is saying. Tries to solve the things through a manipulative way of their minds, right? This is the egopathetic ego. Unfortunately, a lot of people are really concentrated on that. Why? Because they don't know the other. Nobody has, probably they're not open. And probably people haven't found a way to communicate that to them, right? Because you remember the state of consciousness I said to you? Believe me, somebody who's very low has much less power than somebody who's very high, right? So if I am, let's say, high and somebody else is low, who has the power to change things? Me, that I'm high, because I'm higher, my energy is higher. I know, I can understand when I see somebody what he's going through. I empathize and I'm trying to find the way that will help this particular person to overcome his problem and get higher in expanding his awareness and understanding what life is all about. Maria, τι έλεγα? The golden triangle. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you, by the way. So there is the ego, there is the egopathetic, and then there is the egoistic, egopαθητικό, εγωιστικό ego, and there's the healthy ego. The healthy ego is that which protects us from bad situation, right? Let's say from the egopathetic egos. So our healthy ego puts is the one that puts the limits to other people. Or when we feel threatened, we just say, I can't go on with that, right? So please just release me, with kindness again. And this is the healthy ego. The healthy ego wants to do good for everybody and for the self, of course. And then there's the subconscious. I don't want to say a lot of the subconscious because I don't know why. Maybe some people are very much scared of it. Maybe because a lot of people haven't really died in the subconscious. But believe me, when in your sleep you're flying, let's say when in your sleep you see yourself that you fly, and we've all lived that. We've all had a dream in our lives that we've been flying, and or we do crazy things. That frame of our soul that I told you in the beginning, that's from the subconscious, right? So why should be scared and afraid of something that it's almost that is the biggest part of who we are, of who we truly are? Why? Because it is unknown. Great. I'm sure that from the things that you figure out that you can't gain much, right? From the things that you don't know, and you start to study and figure out new things, you acquire knowledge. So there it is. And then the subconscious. I'm a mother of 2 kids, and I'm facing a very, very difficult problem with my son. Recently, he's been diagnosed being bipolar. I'm sharing this experience with you because I figure out that it makes a lot of sense to share with people truths about what you're going through right now. This is a very difficult situation, right? Extremely difficult situation. The only thing that I have and I trust for me as a human being and a mother to help this other human being that is my child, and to help myself, who is going through a very difficult situation, is my subconscious. The trust that I have that everything, when I ask myself, when my conscious mind asks, excuse my word, what the hell is going on? What am I going to do? If we're going to do that, then the subconscious mind comes and says, calm down, everything will be okay, be grateful. And this gives me peace, and I can go on. And then the next day I wake up and I say, okay, I can go on. It's a new day. It's a blessing. If I think with my conscious mind, I would be extremely frustrated. I will go to pills. I wouldn't know what to do. Throughout my life, my subconscious, which is my instinct, I figure out that it gave me all the right answers. And the subconscious, you get connected with your subconscious when you give the gift of meditation to yourself. I figure out that meditation, even as an observer, meaning while I'm talking to you right now, being able to be connected with the subconscious consciously. I can't do it the other way, but being connected so I won't feel frightened through my conscious mind by one of your looks or by one of your, or by your silence, right? So I will feel powerful and grateful sharing that with you. This comes from the subconscious. It doesn't come from the conscious mind, okay? And then there's a higher self. So what does the higher self do? The higher self is there to give us the free will to choose whatever we want to do. And he's happy with that. Even if we choose the wrong thing, he's happy with that. He doesn't say, oh, why did you do it? He wouldn't be a higher self then, right? So it doesn't, I wouldn't say, somebody may think that it would come from religion, it would come from philosophy, but since we're Greeks, most of us, I know that if we go back to our basic ancient world and our philosophers, it's all there about what's the higher self and what the soul is all about. And also the higher self is connected with excuse me, this triangle, ego, subconscious, and higher self, I remember what I want to say, is connected with the observer, okay? The higher self is the observer, me out of me, observing me and giving me the freedom to be who I choose to be at that moment, with all my limitations and with all the potentiality that I have to be magical and open and truthful. This triangle has to be balanced. Unfortunately, most of the people are whatever they do, they base it on their ego. And then there comes this belief system again, and this value system. I don't want to go through that. It's not, it's in my theory, but it's not so important right now. What I want to say next. Πόση ώρα έχουμε?
Maria, it's 7 o'clock, so maybe we open the floor to a question, because also it must have been tiring for you as well. So maybe, you know, the participants help us with a question at this point, and then we can continue for another 20 minutes.
Yes.
So if there are any questions, please either ask Maria directly or write it in the chat or raise your hand. Or any comments? Okay, so Maria, I have a question for you before you continue. Because I referred at the beginning to your method, the Perceptual Acting and Directing, the PAD, and you referred to it as well. Maybe you want to share some things about the method. I know that you referred throughout, you know, the what you presented, but maybe some highlights of the method, which is mainly for actors, but also for the people who, to a large extent, we are all actors in this life.
Yes, you mean the practical part?
Exactly,
of it?
exactly.
Well, you said something very important. Actually, the word actor in the method is highlighted in a new understanding of who is the actor, and that's what I've been trying to explain throughout this webinar. In acting, the perceptual acting and directing is based on method acting. Method acting, for most of the people here who may not know, is the basic tools with exercises and with study that we do on how to be truthful in the moment, how to acquire our conscious awareness of being truthful in everything that we do. Then I added to method acting all the theory with all the new exercises and many visualizations that I have in the book, and many exercises in my method, and many exercises. And I work with exercises that have to do with the body. Well, with the body, with the mind and the soul. Which actually what perceptual acting and directing is doing is first help you be open to start to start your self-therapy, and through that to take off you anything that it's not valuable for you anymore, to start being you and your true self, whatever that means for everybody, for anybody at this moment where they're working with themselves. And then we add exercises, visualizations, a lot of writing, a lot of fun actually, because as you have figured out, I'm not in the box human being. I don't know, did I answer your question?
Yes, I think you did, but it's not only me who wants an answer. So I don't know if it's clear for the participants, if you want to ask anything else. It's Friday, it's afternoon. Maybe it's not the best time.
Oh, George, Steffi. He's okay. Muted. George, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to ask something. We talked earlier about various concepts such as the three triangles, the ego, our higher self. And I would like to ask something that I really struggle. It's called the emotions, how they are linked. Because as a human being, because over actually the last 2 years, due to some challenges in my real life, I started doing therapy. I have my own counselor. And when somebody asked me, which is your major challenge?
Excuse me, can you repeat that? Because there was a pause in my internet. Can you repeat it? In the last 2 years in your life?
Due to some challenges, I decided to start counseling. I mean, I have my own therapist, and after 2 years of work, and something that of course I'm keep going to do that. So my biggest challenge is how we can, not exactly, actually I would say how we can find the balance among emotions and those thoughts and those concepts that you described earlier. Because for me personally, I think that emotions somehow like a slave of emotions. I mean, I cannot find something stronger than emotions, that even if we try to approach things rationally using our minds, emotions are so tricky. I mean, they can totally disorganize you. Just a thought, just something that triggered you. And it's really hard to find balance among those concepts that you said, including our ego, our good side, of course, with the emotions, how they are linked, how they can be controlled.
Levon, Yorgo, thank you for that question. Excellent. I mean, you give me, thank you for that.
Oh, trust me, I found it difficult, that's why.
So I have good news for you.
Yeah.
Let me make it, okay, we talk so much about emotions, okay? And we're overwhelmed by emotions. And we think we are the emotions we live. We have all these emotions and we don't know how to control. And then our emotions control us and we don't control them, okay?
Exactly.
And we lose ourselves completely the whole time.
Exactly.
Okay, so emotions, maybe you've heard about that. You're the sky. Emotions is just some clouds, the clouds. So you're bad. There's a one cloud and you're bad, right? The cloud, this emotion. You feel angry, let's say. And then I will come and say something to you. I will do something to you, and suddenly you feel happy again, right? And then that's another cloud. And then you go back to the common emotion you had, to the common feeling, let's say, you had, which was anger, which is a tricky habitual mind we have of wanting to be angry. When of wanting, I don't want to go, you know, my work, it's not about being a victim and being a victim and
persecutor.
Excuse me?
Persecutor.
Prosecutor. Thank you. Being a victim and prosecutor, I'm not going through these things. The only thing that I'm going through, and I know, and it's in my theory, is what I told you before. It's the expanding of the awareness of who you truly are. If we don't know if we don't come closer to this philosophical pananthropic question of who we are, then we won't solve the problem of the emotion, of the feelings, because feelings are not sensations and are not emotions. We should be very careful of that. So if I get angry with my daughter, for example, and I keep in my mind, my God, she told me these very bad words, so I keep the emotion and I don't go out of the feelings that were there portrayed, overwhelmed on me, and I don't have the knowledge of who I truly am and who she truly is. And then she didn't really mean to offend me. She didn't really mean to hurt me. A lover, let's say, who abandoned us, or a toxic lover that we have, and we love him, but he's so toxic. So, and we want to be with him, and then we become victims. No, because these are parts, roles, identities. It's one piece. You remember the line in the beginning of our webinar? This is one frame of who we are. And then do we choose that frame, or in the infinite possibilities, we may choose another frame which is healthier. But even, I have to tell you something that I believe it's very important. And I'm very open with that. I'm not very pro with all the tools, like writing diaries or trying to do this work or affirmations. Why? Through my experience, and trust me, I'm a worker. I mean, I do work with myself all the time. This is what I want in my life. This is my thing, okay? Affirmations are wonderful. These tools are wonderful, but this is our conscious mind. As much as we're going to work with our conscious mind, if we don't fit the unconscious, if we don't dive into this magical world of who we truly are, George, you know what? If you go in there and you dive in there, then you will never care about feelings. You know the you'll know the procedure. You know it's a thought, a feeling, an action, a feeling. Very quickly, I just want to say my way to get over a very bad feeling and to keep that, it's my way of elevating my vibration to gratitude, love, and light. I know it sounds, to people who are not working with this kind of stuff, it may be a little bit, but this is my way. Where are you? Welcome back.
Maria, we have a question from Alexia Celia Peza. What is the best way to be open, but at the same time to protect yourself from toxic people in your life, you mentioned that, who push you back?
Well, I figure out that the most difficult thing a human being can do is trust his power. By nature, by birth, we come here in order to be happy, not in order to be toxic or to be surrounded by toxic people. So what we do throughout our life is that, and I'm the first one. What's the name of Rosa, you said? Maria?
Celia, Alexia, Celia.
Celia είναι το όνομα ή Alexia?
Alexia, Celia, both names. Πρέπει να είναι και τα
δύο. Okay. Alexia, Celia. I'm the first one who cannot get rid of toxic people that surround me. And I figure it's very difficult because the more I am to the path of light and love, the more people want to, get this energy. And I very recently found out how to block my energy from that. What I would say is it's just that, that I'm not a life coach. And when I talk like that, it reminds me of myself looking at life coaches, and I don't do that. But there is Anastasia who we work together, and she may answer to you, Celia, and tell you that, for example, through writing, we do with Anastasia therapeutic writing, and we became good friends, of course. And she writes, I acquire exercises that they're not logical ways of understanding the exercise. And then you write back, and I understand where you're standing, and then we solve the problem. Why? Because these things, these things come from the deep, like being unable to get rid of the toxic people or to help yourself on how to be with them without hurting yourself. As much tool as you're gonna get, you're still gonna do the same thing. You need to get empowered within. And in order to get empowered within, you need to have only one thing: knowledge of what that means, getting empowered within. And that knowledge comes from, who am I? Understanding that you're not, all the conversation that we had today, πάνω κάτω.
Okay, Maria, we have one more question from Paulo Mefalopoulos, but he will ask you directly. So, and let's say, because we only have 9 minutes until 7:30, most probably this is the last question. Okay, perfect.
Hi, sorry, I missed the first part. I am in Chile, so the time difference is quite big. And I'm interested about what you said about who we are. And I was wondering, as I travel from my job every 4 or 5 years, I change place. How much are we shaped in who we are by where we grow, where we live, and what is happening around us? Is that, I mean, if I would be grown or gone to a different place, would myself be different, or you think it would stay the same no matter what?
Well, the core of who we are never changes, and thank God the core of who we are is healthy, and that is very good news, because if we go to the core, if we can touch the core, then wherever we're going to be, we're going to be fine. They say, you know that, dear Paolo, they say that wherever you're going to go in the world, you carry yourself with you. So yourself, it's not your core. So you better get in touch with your core, and that's the as I say, the genius. I would like to use this word now. You better get connected with the genius within you, which is wise and has the answers to all of your questions, and then just let it be and explore every new experience through the core, because in the end, you know that I told you in the beginning, I don't know if you were in at that time, that I don't come here as an educator or as an actor or as a mother. I come here just me trying to talk to you and communicate to you. I try to talk to you through my core, although language is very tricky, because now what I'm saying, everybody here understands a completely different thing of what I'm saying. Why? Because if I ask the word anthropos, man, I will get like, how many are you? 50 different answers to the same man. So if I'm going to use a sentence and I'm going to use the word, like if I'm going to use sentence that use the word anthropos, you're going to understand your own thing. How am I going to communicate that to you? I live also in the United States, and it's very different from being in Greece. And I just found out that I wanted to come in the United States since I was a child, and I'm here. But I found out that something was driving me to come here, you know, like as if my personal my true self, my core was grounded in this energetic geographical field. Okay, I feel like an Indian, let's say, that like an Indian here, like I have my own tribe. I find people here who become friends in a second, and they trust me, although in Greece it's very hard, right? So of course here I'm not different than with my friends with my people in Greece, but in Greece I communicate. I have like 2 or 3 best friends, and I communicate to the other people differently than I do here. So I would say that here in the United States, I'm more myself. But when I go back to Greece, that I have to survive there too and live there too, I carry this core with me. And coming back to Celia, where I see toxicity, I try to avoid. That's why, and find people who in my own tribe. Did I answer to you, or you have questions still? Are you happy with my answer? Are you sad? Did I say half of it? Just please tell me.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions.
Tina.
I think actually that Maria brought you back to the States just because your thoughts were in the States as of day one, that we were classmates. So you made your thoughts as a things, and you made your life as a reality because you thought about it.
Well, a friend of mine is saying to me that you are like it's a sabarádhigma, you know, you're a good example, because whatever I was saying from the beginning, I did it since I was a child and at Pierce. It took me 20 years in Greece, and 2 children, and a marriage, and a lot of failures and a lot of great moments, but here I am.
Okay, Maria, thank you very much for today's presentation. And thank you very much all for attending. Today we had a truly global audience, more global than all the other times. So thank you all for attending from all over the world. We will send you the recording of the video and Maria's contact details, and any additional information you would like to share, Maria, we can add in the follow-up communication. And we will also send you ways to stay connected with your school. Although I believe since you are attending today's webinar, you are connected, and we will be very happy to see you again very soon in other webinars and in other activities. Thank you very much all. Have a great weekend. And Maria, thank you once again.
I also want to just thank everybody for being here. Blessings, be well, have fun, and forget everything about the feelings. They don't exist. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you, Maria.
And always take
Bye,
care of
everybody.
yourself.
Thank you all.
Okay.
We're so happy to see you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.